gobble, motherfucker.
They're eating her. And then they're going to eat me. Oh my God!
Estrogen levels peaking. It's like she's in heat.
When are you gonna grow up, man? Chicks love cars. If you want to get into their pants, you better have a nice, hot Ferrari.
She's my hot Ferrari. Besides, I love my Mustang, which is a plug-in hybrid. It gets 100 mpg.
Oh, no, not the beast! Not the beast! Ah! I love my eyes!
Welcome to Schlock Talk. Wearing Cinema's severed anus as a monocle at our make-believe radio show since 2013.
That's fair. Episode 40. Do that.
I'm Joel.
I'm Greg.
I'm hungover.
Lurker Jeff.
I'm Gabe.
All right, guys. Well, tonight I have the pleasure of hosting this little ditty of a podcast.
Little ditty.
We're going to have a shindig.
Man, I'm regretting this already.
A shindig. Tonight we present episode 40, part 1 of 5.
Oh, no.
All right.
If you remember Robot Jocks, listeners.
Yes. Our 3-hour magnum opus. We made a podcast longer than the movie. Twice as long as the movie, to be fair.
And we've probably forgotten about it already.
Yeah.
No, actually, that has, I should say, that has quite a few views. Both of the Robot Jocks ones do have, comparatively. Because we've got some that have like 7. We got one that's got almost 20,000, and then Robot Jock has like 100. So in the middle,
not bad. What, you guys don't like miniseries? Come on, all right.
We just needed Richard Chamberlain to guest star.
But I can only make it better if I was having Morgan Freeman doing the voiceover. All right, well, fucking fine. Let me just turn the volume of my notes down from Tolkien to Dora the Explorer.
Are you gonna be that little monkey now?
Boots.
Rape! Where's the rape?
Oh, there it is. Yeah,
it's right in front of us. Thank you.
I'm the rape, I'm the rape, I'm the rape, I'm the rape, I'm the rape.
Oh. So, Swiper's coming. Better hide the kids.
Yes.
He's got the lube.
Well, tonight's film is a little gem I miraculously pulled out of my ass whilst watching the topic of last episode's podcast. Yes, as much as the act of watching the movie Halloween 3 really drives home the theme that consuming bland, inedible crap isn't really all that great of an idea, the subject of tonight's show deviates from this in the fact that it's been a motherfucking gold watch that's been stuck up our cinematic poopers this whole time, as opposed to the usual roll of pennies.
Is Christopher Walken delivering this to us?
Carry this in my ass.
He kept it in his ass.
I put it in my ass, and you know.
The star of tonight's show is the limited release gem titled Terrorvision. This culty, campy, bargain bin horror flick can be purchased on hard media, but you'll be pleased to know that you can stream it in high definition via YouTube. This little baby was produced by Empire International, and with the not-so-famous Ted Nicolo donning the poofy pants and megaphone.
Oh.
Theodore directed...
Them is fighting words.
Theodore directed other Boom Boom Baby classics, such as the latest Puppet Master movie starring Corey Feldman.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Teddy might be a disappointment to his parents, but Empire International is the real star. Empire is a studio responsible for 3 other movies we've schlocked: Arena, Robot Jocks, and, drumroll, Reanimator. This is my favorite so far.
Those are some of the better ones we've done.
Yeah.
Admittedly.
Terrorvision didn't get a whole lot of silver screenage, and it was embraced by critics with about as much love as any unsuspecting stranger would be with unsolicited surprise anal.
Paul seems happy.
I, however, had a much...
It's a happy surprise.
Well, it was just so ironic that he was actually doing that at the time Joel mentioned it.
Walking down the street and suddenly, boom! Hello!
No, it is not nice to meet you.
Guys,
I am not pleased to make your acquaintance.
guys, whenever I see a hobo asking for money, I like to give him something.
At least they kept you warm for a couple minutes.
Think of it like a colonoscopy that you really, really needed.
I, however, had much differing opinions towards this movie, mainly due to the fact that I was about 5 years old at the time when I saw it. Now, I'm going to go ahead and steal the words right out of everyone's mouth and say, oh, well, that explains a lot. Yes, Gabe, Paul, and Craig, you can put your sick, fucking, and downright hurtful water cooler bets to rest now. Believe it or not, it was not my mother's habitual abuse of psychedelics while pregnant, or a fateful decision to take that ride in the mysterious stranger's free candy van that led to my less than adequate social skills and poor taste in movies.
I had my money on chimpanzee rape.
It's still an option.
But
You don't know
no,
the whole history.
but no, unclimactically, it's rather due to the apathy of my grandparents' decision when deciding what show to watch on Showtime on a Saturday night in 1987. So without good...
It's all becoming clear now.
At least it wasn't Cinemax. I mean, I give him credit for that, I guess.
So without getting all child psychiatrist on you, let's make like abortion doctors and dig right in.
You know, the funny thing is, in 1987, you were 5 years old, and Paul was 41.
43, to be exact.
So let's make like abortion doctors, let's dig right in, and don't forget to put your bibs on.
Fetus. Oh.
Terrorvision opens up somewhere on the tabletop miniature surface of the planet Pluton. I'm guessing they named it that as a means to avoid trademark infringement, which is ironic considering that they used a chopped up USS Enterprise model for the building.
And Pluto is no longer copyrighted as it is not a planet.
It's a Disney dog. That may infringe.
More specifically, the planet's mutant disposal facility, which I assume is Plutonian for abortion clinic.
I think Humane Society would be fair, right? I mean, technically.
I'm sensing a theme already in this podcast.
Some abortion-oriented shit.
Excuse me while I get my calipers.
We suddenly cut to a scene of Craig waking up in the morning and a Plutonian pounding on his cell.
Oh, no.
The beast is dissolved into pure energy and transported into the cold, unloving reaches of space, but not before being bounced Super Ball in a closet style against the celestial dwarves neighboring the planet.
Now, I liked this. The different, the bouncing around the signal. So the monster has been turned into a signal, like an electrical something.
An
And it
electronic
bounces around.
electrical something.
Like Scotty just energized
Turned
his
into
ass.
lightning.
Okay.
It's turned into lightning and it bounces around on
Celestial
the planets. It was funny.
And it's got the cartoon bouncy noises too. It's just, and it's good. And then cue the intro, the theme song. If this first scene hasn't set your expectations by now, spoiler alert, they should be low. You're listening to Schlock Talk, a videoless podcast about movies. They should always be fucking low. Then the theme song and the rising action should be the merciless double tap in the head you need to get the message.
We need to insert the theme song at this point in time into the podcast.
Okay, yeah.
It was,
Oh, okay.
Let's do it.
yeah, it was pretty epically terrible.
Jeremy, get on that.
I remember something about Medusa's green eyes, and that's all I remember.
It's
Were
like a
there words?
B-52
As
song.
yeah, it's like as I stare into the light of the TV screen.
I got
Which is
a
weird
Devo
because no one ever
off of
saw Medusa's eyes throughout the whole series of this movie. That is not where your
Yeah, did
focus
she even
goes
have
on that
eyes?
character.
Can't remember. We open back up on Earth to Mother Most Likely to Fuck Something, Raquel Putterman, mid-spooning eagle yoga pose.
Okay, this woman, like, she puts the capital A in Amazon.
Yeah, well, it's Mary Warrenoff. I mean, she's been in like a million awesome movies.
Yeah, I fucking love
Rock and
her.
Roll High School.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but she is
she
a
played
little.
the high school.
Well, she played the principal. What was her name, Jeff? Do you remember?
She played the demon from hell that was the muse for the music.
And she's in Eating Raoul and
Eating Raoul, that seems apt given her
Yeah.
facial structure.
Did they really eat him?
Unhinge that jaw and take him in one go.
and she's in the one about the Chopping Mall. She's in Chopping Mall as well. So
Yeah,
she's
I'm
been
really
in a
impressed with
shit
her.
ton of movies.
She's got a great.
She is a handsome woman.
She is handsome. That is true.
She has such a despicable demeanor. I love her.
Oh, and her face, like her expressions are just so cartoonish. She's like
She's so
she's
good.
like the Amazon Jim Carrey.
She goes for it.
Yeah.
I think
Seems to be having fun with the role. Give her credit there.
Mrs. Togar is the principal from Rock and Roll High School. She's in Death Race 2000 or
Was
3000.
that the one
whatever.
where like Rock and Roll High School like did the electric fence and shit like
That's
that?
one of the
Ramones
Ramones
movie.
The Ramones.
The Ramones movie, okay.
Yeah.
Like Vadar or something like that was like it was like this one-handed like neo-Nazi kind of person.
No, that's Reform School Girls.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. Which we should probably do for the show.
So she's interrupted during the middle of her workout, and she chastises her tool of a husband, Stanley, for botching the do-it-yourself cable upgrade project that he's hell-bent on completing. Judging from his safari jacket he's wearing, I would wager to say he excels more at murdering endangered species and natives than home media.
At this point, my eyes kept like going to her leotard,
Yeah.
and then away from it, and then back to it, kind of like a car crash. And I think I got a little bit of rubberneck.
Is there a survivor in
but
there?
it's like when you're not looking at the leotard, you have to focus on the art in the house on the wall.
Right, which is like Nagel,
like the lowest
yeah.
budget Nagel
Yes,
knockoff
yes.
you can imagine.
And okay, so the husband also, Garrett Graham, is the freaking beef from Phantom of the Paradise. So that's one of the greatest movies ever too. So
Yeah, this is a great cast.
Yeah.
the cast in this movie rules.
I gotta say, these guys sold this movie. So Tweedledum to Stanley's D is none other than Norton, the satellite dish vendor. Norton enjoys watching Stanley take the act of warranty violation to whole new extremes while casually drinking his Heinekens and facing off in a staring contest with Raquel's fit, juicy, leotarded ass.
Well,
Why is he even there? He's just like supervising the setup?
he is there to get killed.
Yes,
Yes,
right. is
Norton
padded
is
cast.
not long for this earth.
He specifically stands there and goes, "No, I can't do anything to help you out. I'm just going to stand
stand and watch you do the do-it-yourself
Well, he
project.
like delivered it,
Yeah.
but he couldn't set it up.
Yeah. Raquel is later joined in the living room by oldest daughter Susie. Susie looks like a life-size troll doll and, equally upset about the loss of the cable signal, joins her mom in trolling her father. See what I did there?
I see.
Yeah,
It's
see
like
what I did
Cindy
there?
Lauper's poor cousin is who she looks like.
Okay, now to Diane Franklin's defense. The daughter's played by Diane Franklin. She is in fucking The Last American Virgin, which is a great sleazy movie. She's in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. She's one of the princesses.
Oh.
She
Yeah, that's
is
right.
in Better Off Dead. She's the French foreign exchange student from across
That's
the
where I
street.
recognized her.
And she gets raped by her
Oui,
brother
oui.
in Amityville 2. I believe. Maybe it might be Amityville 3.
Amityville Horror.
Was it the same brother she had in this movie?
Amityville Horror.
No, it's her older brother.
Horror, yeah, sorry.
And she gets naked in several of her movies as well, which I appreciated quite a lot.
Yeah, she's great too. She did a phenomenal
Every
job
character
in
in
this
this
movie.
is just over the top, ridiculous.
Yeah.
You can enjoy it.
Later, the doorbell chimes, and Susan opens it up to reveal Grandpa, who is in no doubt dressed like any one of our bastard grandparents who falsely claims to have been in the war.
This dude is just like, he's got a hat on with like little plastic jet fighters coming out of it.
It's
I'm
like
sure
they
that's already
took
right.
they took the grandpa character from Mary Poppins
Yeah.
times 10.
And gave him PTSD from Korea.
Make believe
from
PTSD. Yeah, Grandpa is fucking great in this. Grandpa is a survivalist who, from what we can gather, isn't exactly shooting with a full magazine. He fucking lives in the house, but insists on ringing the doorbell as a means to enter. He reunites with Raquel, his daughter, and spouts off some cliche rant about how the world is turning to shit, kids today are such pussies, and those damn gooks, blah, 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 blah.
Does he say gooks?
No, he doesn't. I put that in there. It's like a little artistic license.
Racist artistic license.
I'm just saying that Grandpa wasn't quite enough racist for me. He wasn't meeting the minimum threshold.
Okay. Sorry, Charlie.
On the bright side, he did have some really wonderful ideas about lizard tails and being a renewable source of protein.
Yes.
That, it doesn't seem like a bad thing. Why he would
take the tail, they don't give a hoot, just grow another one.
Okay, guys, so not to get off on too much of a side tangent, but Diane Franklin is in a movie called Deadly Lessons, and it says a psycho is stalking the students at an exclusive girls' school, co-starring Larry Wilcox of Chips. I have to see this.
Oh, why is this in our future now, Greg?
Oh, Jesus. Save me.
Grandpa catches up with his could-be-worse son-in-law in the backyard and is ambushed by neglected grandson Sherman. Sherman squeezes out a few sound bites from his toy gun, and Grandpa responds in kind by pulling out a very much fucking real gun and aiming it right back at Sherman's soft, killable kid face.
Don't fuck with Granddad, little boy.
Ah, brain shot. Raquel comes outside once again to emasculate Stanley some more when at last the audience of idiots is finally gathered and the oh-so-familiar bolt of energy strikes the Putterman's new satellite dish.
Well, I want to put out there that emasculating Stanley requires masculinity in the first place, so I'm not sure that quite qualifies.
Well, he does. So Stanley's the dad, right?
Yeah.
He does. He is a swinger.
Swinger.
You have to use a hard G when you say swinger.
He's a swinger.
We find out later he's a manly man.
Yes.
Yes.
He likes it Greek.
But they are swingers, and so there's that. I like that. I like that about him.
It's like I said, these people are very despicable, which is just fucking perfect for this movie.
Exactly.
Is there anyone in the family who's got any redeemable qualities whatsoever?
None of them.
Sherman, maybe?
The boy
because
kid
that's just his
like,
innocence, right? I mean,
I like
he can do
Sherman.
that.
I think the kids are okay.
Well, you got to consider in retrospect, this is a boy who's about 8 years old who actually carries around an actual automatic weapon.
Yes.
C4.
His fucking grandfather takes him to go fucking shoot fully automatic weapons and blow shit up.
And he also apparently has a sleeping disorder where he wanders around with these weapons.
I don't know.
That's why the
funny
family
little
doesn't
trivia
freak
note
out
here,
about
guys. Did you know this was funded by the NRA?
No. Hey, you know
Charlton
what?
Heston's favorite film.
I guess this is the movie why it just like made gun control freaks just go off the deep end, right?
Whatever happens if an alien pops on your TV and you don't have any guns, huh?
Take away
How
my
you gonna defend
Terrorvision
your
from my
fucking
cold
house?
dead hands.
How you gonna fucking stop him this time, bitch?
I'm going to bring my shotgun to the next episode.
Please,
I'm standing my ground.
Are you gonna end it just like right there?
I'm
on the
This
air.
podcast, I will blow my fucking brains out. That's how much I love you, audience.
We did a podcast once where Alan had a blowgun. I remember being kind of nervous. Alan was kind of high and with a blowgun.
Yes.
I've tipped the poison they're tipped in is my own feces.
We would have been dead in seconds.
Yeah,
I think
you're not coming back, man.
I think Gabe's
Or you might reanimate. We don't know.
Gabe's gonna bring the shotgun. He's gonna leave it next to me, and then he's gonna re-show us Rotor.
Craig, this is how I always wanted to die. The family,
Take you out first.
the family gathers back in their absolutely tasteless living room and just commenting on the set. I do like that the backyard is a fucking indoor set for this fucking movie.
This movie must have had a fairly decent budget because the sets are pretty amazing.
Yeah, for what they had, for being a
I
B
would
movie,
want to live in this house.
Oh yeah, I even said that when we watched it.
They did great. I have no idea what the budget was, but they made it. They really made it.
There's a statue where the tits spray out the water.
Yeah, when she answers the
it's like
front
the Korova
door.
milk bar.
Yeah, that's right. The Clockwork Orange milk
Classic
bar.
Greek marble sculpture with the tits leaking water.
Yeah, the family has no taste. The family gathers back in their absolutely tasteless living room to channel surf along the streams of their upgraded TV programming, with Captain Stanley manning the helm of what could only be described as a gas-powered remote control. They fight over what to watch, as all families do. Am I right? Huh? When the TV suddenly becomes possessed and starts puking rainbow ribbons across the room, our regularly scheduled programming is restored when the static fades to reveal the Medusa Midnight Horror-thon, an early onset puberty-inducing parody of the Elvira Mistress of the Dark show.
You know, we were talking about the cast earlier. Who played her tits?
Yeah, I think 2 small Chinese babies.
I think 2 rather large Chinese babies, to be honest with you.
Very chubby Chinese babies.
Was it the guy from Your Height Only? Was he one of the dudes in there?
Yeah, what they did is they superimposed his nipples, even though they were never shown.
I think her dress was low cut enough that if his nipples were on there, they would have shown.
It was quite a feat of movie magic.
As big as those basketballs were, they weren't big enough for those nipples.
Those things are fucking amazing.
Yep, it's a parody of the Elvira Mistress of the Dark show, complete with C-list movie roster and gigantic tits. They really did their research on this one, guys. Would you look at those hooters?
Okay, so Gabe on Facebook, he posts like a close-up cleavage shot, and not like the Schlock Talk, just on Facebook, with a quote from the movie, will you look at those hooters, oh tomatoes.
Holy tomato.
Holy tomatoes.
Because everybody gets that one.
And I'm thinking, nobody's going to get this quote.
They're just going to think I posted a picture of tits and said, look at those.
Would anybody be surprised, though?
I have no problem with it whatsoever.
It just intersperses with his racial and political hate speech.
Yeah, at the end of the episode, we're going to have to talk about my recent defriending on Facebook.
Haven't we discussed that?
I don't know if we did.
I think you just brought it up to us at one point in time, so we know the story.
Another ring at the door, and in comes Odie, Susie's new boyfriend and heavy metal aficionado fanboy that you probably more closely recognize as Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite.
Yes.
Yeah, he's not Garfield's dog friend.
Mr. and Mrs. Putterman are not impressed. Mr. and Mrs. Putterman are not impressed with what they see, probably due to the fact that Keanu Reeves has yet to be seen in Bill and Ted, and thus rendering Stanley and Raquel unable to get the joke.
Well, I think Miss Putterman was kind of impressed because she was like, he's kind of cute. With
tall.
her Mr. Ed face, kind of lust in her eye.
She likes him, and he is friendly. He's like, yes, sir, no, sir.
It's like, oh,
he's definitely the inspiration for Bill.
Always wanted to meet you.
He's like,
Seems
hey,
like
dude.
He's got that vibe, definitely.
Or even Wayne's World.
Yeah.
And it's funny because they're criticizing him later as they're getting dressed for their evening antics, and they're just like, man, people have no idea how ridiculous they look.
And then that's when Mr. Putterman is putting on his
fucking
3-layered
disco
gold medallion.
Yeah.
Yeah, this movie's pretty much like the 80s, like ate too much 80s and vomited all over itself.
The 80s became
all over its piano tie.
The 80s became self-aware and started hating itself and expressing it with comedy.
I like how casually in front of this kid they got to drop, oh, you can't use the spa tonight, honey. We're going to be swinging.
Yes.
Yeah, it's because it's... So the model parents take the opportunity to dismiss themselves, casually telling Susie they have plans to swing that evening. As all family members disembark and go their separate ways, Sherman and Grandpa remain in the living room to inspect Medusa's maracas for lumps.
Getting back to women's health.
Every group has some weird sexual thing going on. You got the mother and father going to go out and have sex with random strangers, the daughter and her boyfriend freakishly going out to have their own sexual adventures, and then Grandpa and the little boy watching a disturbing sexualized woman on the TV screen together, which may lead to things that we don't want to discuss later on. It's just going to happen.
All of a sudden, the signal is scrambled again, and the two catch a feed from Gabe's webcam live streaming as he's surfing amputee porn again. Not exactly. We get a good upfront look at this alien monster that's going to be the main antagonist of this movie.
Did Gabe said, "I'll add a peg leg to that stuff"?
Gabe, do you wear an eye patch when you watch those?
You can use my penis as a crutch.
No, I don't like to lose my binary vision. I like to be as close to the actual 3D as possible.
Not exactly something to call the cops about, but Grandpa and company shrug it off and continue binging so much that both of them nod off. Sherman's nap is rudely interrupted when a soft, supple body is fondled by elephantine eye stalk of the Plutonian mutant.
Now, I just want to say,
Gabe had to leave the room.
The monster in this movie definitely comes from the Ghoulies school of moist puppetry. Right? He is very wet the entire
There was
movie.
a KY jelly budget.
Oh, absolutely there was.
He is totally the inspiration for Kang from the Teenage Mutant Krang.
Yeah.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I agree.
He looks exactly like that thing, except much, much bigger.
Sherman's screams alert Grandpa to the alien presence, and all three of them run away screaming. But not before, the monster goes away screaming too. He's quite surprised that they're awake and alive.
You know what he kind of looks like? It's like they ripped the skin off of Jabba the Hutt.
Jabba the Hutt's a burn patient. So Grandpa, Sherman, and the alien all freak out and start running away screaming, but not before promptly shitting themselves. Sherman and Grandpa...
It looks like Jabba the Hutt fell into the vat at the Astroglide factory tour.
And somehow one of his eye sockets popped out.
And he's got like crazy cartoon eyes too that just go in weird rotations.
This monster's pretty great.
Yeah. Sherman and Grandpa retreat to his bedroom / bomb shelter / arms room / torture, interrogation chamber to gun up and blast that alien slime bag. I'm unsure why Grandpa, being the supervising adult, doesn't think to call the cops, or at least a dog catcher. But I like to think that Grandpa is collecting war crimes, and he's not about to let the Plutonian be that one minority that got away.
Well, Grandpa thinks he's a burglar, first off, with one of them Halloween masks on that'll scare the poop out of you. That's how I believe he phrased it specifically.
Grandpa's not all there.
Hey, guys. Jeff's here.
Hey, Jeff. What's going on, man? Did you watch the movie?
When did I get here?
So tell us a little about yourself, Jeff. We need to get to know you more.
Where'd you come from?
Did you live around here?
Tell us about your...
How'd you meet Gabe?
Were you born vaginally or C-section?
Did your father reproduce asexually and you're a direct clone?
They do look strikingly alike.
He's like, my mom was just the host to brood me.
The host.
Okay, so Grandpa and grandson are on the...
And we wonder why he doesn't speak.
Grandpa and grandson are armed and on the prowl when, coincidentally, ladies' man Norton arrives to service the satellite. To absolutely no one's surprise, well, except maybe Norton's, he ends up mutant chow, with Grandpa not far behind him. As sure as slippery green shit, Sherman witnesses his grandfather scream like a bitch as he is liquefied into a delicious green puddle of piss and slurped up by the Putterman residence's new tenant.
That scene was great.
Yeah.
So what's the implication?
He's liquefied.
Yeah.
And then,
mean,
the monster licks the puddle.
Yeah, it looks like he's getting skeeted on by the alien, but he's slowly being dissolved into an edible puddle. Kind of like
a fly would eat, right?
Because his face kind of like
alien-
collapses in
Yeah,
itself.
yeah, it's like he's dejuiced and then he's slurped up, and the alien's like getting off on this because his eyeballs are rolling around. And he's like shaking like he's orgasming.
There is asexual component.
Kind of like what Jeff looks like, but you can't see him. But this is the deal. He's not going to defend himself. Why do I have to worry about it?
You saw me eat the donut. You know how it works.
But it's got like this tongue, this big muscly tongue arm with a hand on the end of it.
Yes.
Looking
Yeah.
thing, and
Who, Jeff?
It's like a fat chubby baby hand for a dick knob. Yeah. So Sherman watches his grandpa die, and the little shit beats feet back to Grandpa's sex bunker and calls the fuzz. Sherman is cut down and labeled as a prank caller by the answering officer, while unbeknownst and behind him, the extraterrestrial chud tantalizes itself by brushing its residue-slathered grabbers just out of reach, similar to what Paul does in hospital nurseries.
Oh, poor Paul.
Oh, God. God.
Well, it's time for plot development number 4. Stanley and Raquel return home with their perverted catch of the day, and judging from the haul, I would say they baited their hooks with feta because the accompanying couple is none other than Greek Dos Equis guy, Spiro, and his smoking hot bimbo, Cherry.
Oh my God.
Greece Dos Equis guy. Greek Dos Equis guy. That's awesome.
Baited with feta. Oh man, this couple.
I salute you, Joel. That's great.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sure you're going to mention her Betty Boop voice.
Yeah. I didn't describe too much about her, but yeah, Cherry is fucking awesome. She's smoking hot and has a My Little Fucking Pony voice.
She gave me a brony.
Yes. And it's funny because, so the husband, we'll get there, but he's fag. And
spoiler
he's
alert.
probably bisexual.
Probably.
He's Greek.
He immediately asks if the decor in the fuck room is Greek, and he's like, "Oh no, straight Roman here, baby." The dad says, he's like, "Oh," but then he says it several more, and then he's like, "Do you guys have ouzo?" Because he's gonna go make drinks and stuff like
Do
this.
you guys have ouzo? I like how he talks. I can't.
Yeah,
He's a Fantasy Island kind of accent.
He's a pretty good character,
Yeah.
but this is the politically correct early 80s, and I think it's kind of implied that he deserves to die because he's gay, right?
Well, everyone.
Possibly.
Everybody has a fault.
Okay, but he's not gay because he brought Cherry over.
Yeah.
Right, but that's just his beard that he's going to then use to bang.
It didn't
Dad.
seem like that from what was going on. I think it's bisexual. So I mean, which I guess you could just chuck him in with the same lot as evil homosexuals.
Well, if you had to listen to her voice, it would probably drive you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the reason. I guess.
It's obvious
It's not worth
that this film was made by Bible thumpers.
Yes,
And when I say
really
Bible
was.
thumpers, I meant Bible humpers.
But yes,
They
Cherry's,
in the Bible and they put their fleshlight in there.
Cherry's
Go
voice
with
is enough to drive even the most virile man.
I
to,
love Cherry.
to dong.
I love Cherry so much.
Hi, dear. How you doing, honey?
I love her.
When we watched it, I said, "Boy, just put a bag on her voice."
I love Cherry's voice. Like I love her cartoony voice, but I mean I can only handle it in 30-minute episodes once a week. Cartoony voice. I can't live with that shit. Oh, are you almost there? Are you ready to come? You want me to come?
The only woman I know who I would find hotter if she had a tracheectomy or
Yeah.
She's in a stoma.
I want you.
Craig,
Want me to go down
hand me
on
my
you.
cigarettes, Craig.
Plus, I could fuck her
Put
through.
it in my tracheotomy hole. Oh, baby. Ah.
She's like on one of the faces of smoking.
Mr. and Mrs. Putterman are just about to seal the swinging deal when Sherman interrupts the adults with his claims of the relative murdering alien invasion, which further proves my points that kids are the fucking worst. Well, selfish, childish interruptions be damned. Raquel insists the adults still do this thing and drags Sherman away. She escorts him to the war dungeon to investigate the death of Grandpa. Craig Jr., a.k.a. the monster, extends its tongue, proboscis / reproductive / anus, and reconstitutes the likeness of Grandpa's head. Raquel swings open the door and calls out to her father and is greeted by his all-vast up face, and he reassures her that he's just taking care of business.
Yeah,
So-
he blew his load 7 times in
Yes.
his own face.
Yeah.
So the puppet has the monster has somehow created puppet versions of the people, and they've got like the KY jelly dripping off of them, but he can control them, and they have their own voice. It's kind of
And memories
disturbing.
and shit. Yeah, so like,
Yeah.
it's apparently like it absorbs your DNA, and now you are part of this thing, and it can reconstitute you at any moment to imitate you.
So it's kind of like
It's
the
kind of
thing.
like the thing. Yeah,
He
exactly.
makes you out of some kind of seaweed or something like that. It seems like.
It's really not
KY
explained.
jelly, I
Yeah.
believe.
Well, I mean, they explain later on that the puppet, the monster is like a mutant now that
Yeah.
used to be a pet, and it mutates out of control, and so I assume this is one of its mutant powers.
Yeah, so bonus question, guys. How many loads do you think it took on his face? 'Cause
I'm going with at least 8.
yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
How many loads does it take to get to the center of a grandpa?
If it was my loads, it'd have to be about 117. But
Fed up with Sherman's shit, Mom shuts him in the room and lovingly seals the door handle with a heavy-duty chain and padlock. This was
It's mommy's swing time.
This was most likely how the Puttermans were medicating Grandpa's PTSD sleepwalking spells. Meanwhile, back in the living room, Stanley is doing his best to fan the flames of freak love. His conversation with Spiro and Cherry lead them into the hot tub room where they are eventually joined by Raquel. Raquel and Spiro duck out to whip up some cocktails while Cherry strips down and warms up the hot tub as well as my loins.
It's because she doesn't talk in this scene.
Yeah, she's just quiet. She's
For the
just
rest of the movie, I
bikinied
think
and
she's pretty
she's
much shut
just
up,
in the water.
I think they realized pretty quickly we got to take this bitch's lines away. This is
It's gonna kill the movie.
yes. So, Paul, you probably remember this. So, Randy Brooks plays Cherry. You know the man with 2 brains?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The girl that walks up to him out in public and flashes Steve Martin.
Oh.
It's her. That is a
I haven't seen
proto
that in a
boner time
long
for
fucking
me.
time.
That's a funny movie.
Yeah, I gotta see that. It's been a long
But yeah,
time. He falls in
she's
love
the one
with the brain.
remember that? I mean, I remember that.
I remember it now.
I sure as fuck remember
Fondly.
that scene.
Fondling.
fondling.
Jeff's like, hey, I didn't get a C. Craig, would you like
Okay,
to see?
I'm good.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
He's Greek.
Yeah. I got some yogurt for you.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
So Sherman, with nothing better to do but await his fate, his grisly fate, consigns himself to watching more TV. His programming is interrupted by an extraterrestrial broadcast from Pluton, urging Earth to shut down all televisions due to a containment leak that might, possibly annihilate all life as they know it. The feed is lost, and the program is returned to Massive Mam's Medusa, who's just opened up the show's phone lines to humor some perverted fan service in which Sherman hesitantly obliges. Medusa, just like all the other adults, dismisses his fantastic story. What Sherman fails to realize is that big boobs will only buy you attention if you're the one sporting them.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Sherman's line of logic is that Medusa, the film busty woman, is going to somehow save him.
Yeah, he doesn't know any other phone numbers. He just got that number right then
Yeah,
and there.
there's a scene. She says you can call in, and then so he calls that number. It's doesn't make much logical
He's a
sense.
kid.
He's a kid.
He is.
So back on the service, things aren't going well, and
That's her too. That's like so 1980s.
Wow. Cameltopia.
Yeah.
nice.
She kind of is like
She's probably just
Cherry.
like a
So
model,
we're looking
huh?
at some pictures of Randy Brooks, the lady who plays Cherry. She looks like a taller, thinner Lonnie Anderson. Kind of.
Yeah. With less makeup.
With less makeup on.
Less clownish. Lonnie Anderson.
Yes. For some reason, this is one of the pictures that comes up when there's a picture of a gaping asshole when you Google Randy Brooks nude.
Wow.
I was spending a lot more time on this picture than the.
Are you sure you didn't type in Greek?
If I wanted to see a gaping asshole, I'd just bring up Paul's Facebook page.
But is that her gaping asshole?
I doubt that is
we'll
her
never
gaping
know.
asshole.
Yes.
Yeah, this looks
Let's
like
call and ask her.
Excuse me, Miss Cherry?
The first
Look
picture
at this
that came
picture.
up.
Is this your asshole?
Can you stand in front of a mirror right now?
Is this like a maneuver called the Randy Brooks? Because if it's not your ass, then that's the only explanation. Well, back on the surface, things aren't going so well in Jimmy Buffett's Orgyville as Spiro confesses to Raquel that he's mad for Stanley's cock, and Cherry has most likely just become the space mongoloid's third meal.
I like how he's like, is he a manly man?
yes.
Yeah, he's a stallion.
No, I meant, does he take it like a man?
Well, then she tries to kiss him, and he's like,
Do you want to taste? He's like,
I'm
"Oh,
Greek."
I'm sorry,
Yes.
I'm Greek. I'm going to have sex with your husband now.
Which is funny because, to be honest, Mary Warnock really does look like a dude.
So why wasn't he
Maybe
all
that's
over
why
that?
he could get himself to go over for the threesome foursome
Maybe
kind
so.
of thing. Who knows?
Well, Spiro is the next one to eat it, or rather be be eaten when he returns with drinks but fails to run away, shrieking at the now-present dry ice fog blanket which coats the surface of the water and surrounds his eerily silent spouse.
So
he starts hitting on her a little bit there. Like I'm going to get a little pre-thing going on.
He gets into it, and you can tell it's thick.
Yeah.
What is this?
It's like soup.
Sexual
It took him a
lubricant.
minute to free fall to the bottom of the hot tub.
He sinks into it like a jello.
He lifts his hand up, and it looks
What
like
is
whatever
this?
was covering Grandpa's face is leaking from his hand.
He's
there.
like, what is this, algae? He's like, oh, maybe it's sex lube.
An entire hot tub of sex lube.
That sounds somehow entertaining. I don't know. Just it does.
Guys, I'm 5 and I'm watching this movie for the first time. Let's keep that in mind with my grandparents.
Yes. Did they have any
It all
problem
makes
with
sense
it?
now.
No, they didn't. They're just like, this looks good. Kids, you want to watch this? So I was like, whatever.
Did your grandpa habitually go around with a sandwich board?
Was he
you know?
eating lizard tails at the time?
Yeah, and he wore a make-believe army costume too. Give me your army man. Give me your bucket of army men. This is what my captain's hat is missing. Blah blah blah. He doesn't run away. His spouse is eerily silent. Raquel runs off to warn her husband about Spiro's intent to be the warm flatbread to Stanley's juicy kebab when she's tailed by the predator from Pluton, and both of the positive adult role models become space chow. Sherman can only help but listen to the sound of his parents as their new friends being pureed into genetic smoothies. As they're being pureed into genetic smoothies, and he's still in lockup for riling his parents. He makes one last desperate call to 911 to give him an update on the crimes taking place at the Putterman house, but to no available as the same officer on duty from before answers the phone. Even more pissed, he promises to deliver hot steaming ass kicking to Sherman in the name of justice. It's like, we got a place for people like you. Prison. Say butt rape.
You 6-year-old motherfucker, I'm taking you to jail.
Fucking ass raping jail. In this exact moment, Sherman flashes back to memories of his grandpa, forcing him to watch Rambo movies with him. He gets the 1,000-mile stare in his eye and breaks out Pappy's secret stash of plastic explosives. Nothing is over.
Yeah, so we haven't talked too much, but there is a bomb shelter under this house.
Grandpa's room is like bomb shelter. Like
Yes,
fucking
you have to climb down
like
a
a
ladder
vault door.
to get in there, and he has plastic explosive
Machine
and
guns.
water. He's like a
Yeah.
survivalist.
And lizards, of course.
And lizard tails.
Yeah,
yes.
he's got the lizards in his little glass cage in there. Have some jerky.
Coincidentally, Susie and parental disappointment boyfriend OD return home from their evening excursion and walk through the front door right as Sherman pushes the plunger and blows the blast door clean open. Susie and OD sense a disturbance in the force and go to investigate, but are only met with the now been-in-the-shit assault rifle wielding Sherman, who, according to Susie's comments, gets like this when he's off his meds.
Seems like a good idea to leave that little boy around explosives and machine guns when he has psychotic episodes.
To be fair, this kid is pretty good with the gun. I mean,
he's seen some shit.
Yeah, you think
He's the most responsible one in the movie.
he is.
you think the recoil of using an automatic rifle would maybe do a little bit more damage to him or something like that, but he just shrugs it off. He's a badass motherfucker.
I like this kid.
Yeah.
He's this movie's Kurt Russell.
Yeah. That's right. There you go. That's pretty good.
There is no Keith David, though.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Sherman brings the couple up to speed, and the whole lot of them retrace his steps back through the house, taking note of all the disgusting piles of residue throughout the beast's wake. Susie plays her ace against what she feels is Sherman's shit hand and decides to confront her parents in the bedroom. But her plan, her plan fails upon opening. Her plan sort of succeeds, ironically, upon opening the door as she and Sherman are greeted by all the talking heads of all the consenting adults who are swaddled in what looks to be a very sticky, pulsating comforter.
Yes, they're all laid down in bed next to each other like Bob and Carol and Ted and Alice.
Yeah.
The movie from the 60s.
Yeah.
They're all just like, nothing!
You do your thing, we do ours. Have you seen Grandpa?
Yeah, Grandpa's head pops out of the middle, and everyone is suddenly just like, that's wrong.
It's funny because it might be the best gag in the whole movie, even though it's not necessarily. They did nothing more than like squirt KY jelly in everybody's face. This might be the best gag in the whole movie.
That's pretty good.
Grandpa, that's sick.
I personally like this move by the director because fuck it, Sherman isn't traumatized enough as it is.
Grandpa's getting ass raped by Daddy in the Greek Man.
Oh, and we should say Grandpa pops his head up right in the middle of everybody. There's
like,
4 people,
he
and
was
he's
down
the 5th
under
one
the
to come up
covers,
through the middle. Yeah.
servicing all 4 of those adults.
His daughter, his son-in-law, the Greek Man. And
Yeah. So in relation, we'll probably have to go back and look, but does anybody remember who's next to him so that he might technically be performing some sort of a sex act either on his own daughter or son-in-law?
I think it's the 2 ladies, right?
The 2 ladies were sandwiched in the middle, and the
Okay,
guys were
so
on the
his own
outside.
daughter could potentially...
Yeah. And so,
right.
but it was kind of funny because I mean, look, from the pulsating, it looked like the women were giving Spiro and fucking Stanley like massive fucking hand jobs, overacting hand jobs. It's just crazy.
It's pretty
like
great.
they're pantomiming hand jobs,
and they've all got big stupid grins on their face, which makes it extra funny.
And lots of lubricant.
Lots of lubricant.
And apparently they're not using it right.
Maybe they are.
It goes everywhere.
Brother and sister catch up with air guitar strumming OD in the pool room just as the Plutonian emergency broadcast is being replayed. Sherman manages to put 2 and 2 together when at that exact moment the monster in question materializes from the screen right in front of their eyes. Sherman, Susie, and whoa dude, OD do a double take and immediately beat feet right the fuck out of there with E.T., the Cronenberg edition, hot on their tails. OD trips, and it looks like this is the end for our tragic hero as the beast closes in. But instead, a plot twist of Shamalian proportions takes place as the mutant halts its assault when the sight of OD's shiny-studded leather vambraces spark fond memories of ownership in the alien's past life.
We're seeing the alien flashback. This is so great.
We do a shimmer dissolve into his memories.
Which is all he remembers is that hand.
Where he's like a puppy and he's being caressed by the studded gauntlets.
The BDSM gauntlets are fucking stroking his head and feeding him looks like turds from a dog bowl.
Burnt turds.
Yes.
From this point on, the movie gets the stereotypical 80s treatment as the homeschooled heroes abandon their quest for survival and befriend the hulking tower of tumors instead, showing it the best that Earth has to offer, such as junk food, heavy metal, surf boy accents, and finally television.
Yeah, they like feed him dick in a box. What was that like at the beginning? It was just
It
weird.
looked like I look like I'm gonna say it was like a pack of hot dogs, like just like in a cigarette pack, a cigarette pack of hot dogs. And he just holds it out. Here you go, dude. Take it.
And
Take
it just
it.
sucks
dude.
the box in instead.
At this point, the movie becomes this weird hybrid of Encino Man and E.T.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
That's just kind of what it does. It just completely changes like the flow, and now it's all about, hey, we've got to befriend this monster.
Well, after the trauma of seeing your grandfather, mother, father having sex together with
Yeah,
strangers,
you pretty much
it's not
just,
the weirdest
you
thing
just
you
took
could come
all your
across.
marbles and just threw them right out the fucking window. It's like we're all screwed because we live in hell.
And it's almost kind of like a 15-minute montage of them like
Like
trying to
befriending.
train it. Yeah.
I am OD.
O.D. Well, with an entire smorgasbord of music and food on the table, just like Craig with Schlock Talk, Fido...
Where's my food?
Yeah. Well, just like Craig with Schlock Talk, Fido of the Final Frontier makes it clear that he wants nothing to do with this shit. And the kids try to scheme a way to profit from owning the accursed thing. Susie gets a wild hair up her ass and lays out a plan to make $1 million 1980s bucks. Parade the giant freak on the Medusa Midnight Horathon. Sherman calls up the Double D Diva, but to no one's surprise, the little faggot is cock blocked again. Susie takes
It's Grandpa's cock.
Susie takes the phone and tries to entice the well-endowed C-lister with the promise of a party, but her attempts are met with the same genital deflating results.
I love how we've become the most PC podcast
Yes.
on the internet.
I'm not even behind a paywall.
At about this point, the Plutonian shit hits the space fan. The monster is losing its shit, and it's totes grieving my bro OD just as the officer arrives at the front door with a fucking warrant for the arrest of Sherman. We got a place for people like you.
Crank callers.
Yeah, what judge did he call at that hour to get that thing written up so he could burst into their house and arrest them?
Shit like you that's going to lead to the Jerky Boys in the 90s.
Odie has just depleted his very last fuck of the day and pops the beast a fresh one right in its adorable vagina nostrils.
Leaking that green fluid the whole time.
Space Bowser responds in kind by unleashing a much smaller head from its mouth, a la Alien style, and begins literally wiping every single layer of that stupid look off Odie's face. Uncool, bro. Susie and Sherman panic and flee to Grandpa's Fortress of Solitude, whizzing past the unsuspecting cop who's about to get his gun and hand eaten by the ensuing terror beast.
Yeah, the kid just like chucks a grenade in the other room and runs off.
You're under arrest, kid!
I'm gonna do something now.
You drew first blood!
Grabbing a brief moment of respite in the bunker as the copper becomes the next punchline of the 2 days away from retirement joke. Sherman and Susie gear up Sherman and Susie gear up to put this bad doggy down for good. Armed with full auto weapons, the brother and sister rove the halls, destroying every TV in their path. Susie does a double check on her worthless parents, but finds only the ooey-gooey squish piles of their fleshy remains, thus giving Susie some much-needed closure that they're totally fucked. Sherman follows the sound of heavy breathing and fapping and corners the super rude the super rude house guest in the pool room. I guess you could call it a jizz koozie.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell was in that thing anymore. There's like piles of what looks like vomit.
A lot of biomass in that pool, in that fucking pool now.
Apparently
It was
still
chilling.
leaving
It's the
effect.
building blocks of human life.
That explains a lot about you, Gabe. It really does.
Precious bodily fluids.
I can build a girlfriend. So he corners the super rude house guest in the pool room, jovially singing to itself and watching monster films while soaking in the tub.
It seems so happy at that point in time, doesn't it? It just kind of
just leave it
relaxing
alone.
there. It's like bouncing around a little bit, watching his monster shows. It was cute.
Sherman goes all MacGyver on us and has a plan to electrocute the hideously deformed behemoth by launching the 240-volt AC remote control into the body fluid-infested waters.
Hey, those 9-volt batteries pack a punch.
Yeah, machine guns, no such luck. Hand grenades did nothing. Let's throw a remote control in the jacuzzi, motherfuckers.
So he tries to electrocute it in the pool, but he busts his ass when his sweet kicks lose traction on the "you can't do that on television" slime-covered floor, and thus loses his element of surprise. The abominable biomass practically has a heart attack, as anyone would if you'd kick their door down mid-masturbation, and begins screaming like a retard that just won the first level of Pac-Man.
You know, now that I'm thinking about it,
Just like that one.
did this movie did it come out before the Nickelodeon network?
No, Nickelodeon came out in the late 70s,
okay.
early 80s.
Mm-hmm.
This
I'm
is
starting to think this
86.
might be inspiration
Yeah.
for slime time.
Yeah.
Can't do that on television, right? That's what you said?
Yeah, I can't do that on television. The Beast unleashes... In retaliation, the Beast unleashes its romance tentacle and constricts Sherman's legs, tantrically pulling the young man closer and closer into the hot tub sex soup. Susie... Susie squeezes off a couple of rounds in the monster's face before it can squeeze off its rounds into Sherman's. The full auto distraction allots Sherman enough time to slice his way free from the Beast's clutches and finish the job. Both siblings make a full retreat to the main living room while they leave Cujo to his electrocution fate. Surprisingly, they are soon greeted by the mysterious Pluthar, the Pluthonian sanitation officer responsible for the escape of the ravenous mutant, who miraculously materializes via energy streams from the now broken living room TV set. He explains to the kids that the overgrown mutated hamster wields insatiable hunger for flesh and for the love of God just can't stop eating. He also mentions that if he can take back the beast alive, he can resurrect their deceased loved ones, although they would need to live in a special aquarium.
That's a great line.
Which
Of course, they have to live in a
I was really hoping that was going to happen.
I know.
I know.
I have a
Yeah.
feeling it probably did, and they ran out of money on this budget.
which, by the way, is the best fucking alternate ending never to be released on DVD.
Yes. I just imagine them like poured into aquariums.
Right.
You know?
keep the lizards in there as well. You know.
Just when you think the party is over, the final freak of the night pulls up into the Puttermint's driveway. It's Medusa, and from the looks of her chest, it looks like she brought her own inflatable bouncy castle.
Her and her like over the top homosexual valet.
Yeah.
Who comes with her for no particular
Who doesn't die, by the way, so I take back my point from earlier.
Yes,
But
not all the gay people die.
Jerry Falwell was not a ghostwriter on this script.
What next ensues could quite possibly be the undigested maraschino cherry on top of the Puttermint progeny's shit sundae.
Wow! That was impressive.
Medusa mistakes Pluthar for a child predator with some sick-ass costume-making skills and cracks his fishbowl helmet with a chunk of rubbish.
Well, this was like some like Misery type shit right here, where like the cop is like following Kathy Bates the whole time, and you're like, oh, he's gonna save him, he's gonna get him, and then she like knocks him down the stairs and kills him.
Right. Yeah, so this is like that scene in Outland where the guy, at the very beginning, when the guy's like, I've got bugs on all over me.
Oh, yeah.
And his face explodes in the space helmet.
And so Pluthar's environmental suit loses pressure, and he explodes inside his own spacesuit, like the brunt of Medusa's fans explode inside their own pants.
I did.
I would venture to speculate that Pluthar probably really wishes he would have called in sick that day. With the last desperate hope strewn in slushy prostrate chunks on the living room carpet, our motley crew awaits their impending doom. The beast with a billion ball sacks breaks through the living room wall with such bravado it would bring tears to the eyes of the Kool-Aid Man. Oh, yeah! One by one, the last three remaining survivors are sucked into the gaping maw of the Vaseline-coated organ blob, with our innocent hero Sherman being the first to go. Everything fades to black as he floats hopelessly first-person mode towards its esophagus. Morning is broken and Medusa's chauffeur is rudely awakened when the now 500-pound asymmetric and unmade-up horror show hostess plops her scaly anus in the back seat and confesses her next destination to him, the television studio. Dun dun dun.
Well, she taps him with the claw hand.
Yeah, that's right.
From Evil Snatch.
Yeah, from Evil Snatch.
And so, she says, okay, I want to go to the television studio, which is, it's a final gesture which helps drive home this movie's main point and ultimate theme. That kids ruin everything. Fucking everything. Your marriage, your house, your hot tub, your goddamn peace of mind. Remember, kids, don't have kids.
So just to stick with the thing, there's no Keith David at the end of this one. But it's just as grim an ending as the thing, technically.
Yeah.
Everybody is dead. The creature has escaped and is now going to go out and...
But there's that caveat that they can all come back.
Yeah.
Well,
I guess.
If another space sanitation officer appears and saves them.
Maybe.
It's almost like
I smell a sequel.
Yeah, kind of.
They never did.
It did not do well in theaters, unfortunately. Even though it's a fucking awesome movie. Like I love this movie, guys.
This movie was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Like this is like what horror should be. It's just got to be fucking camp, and you got to hate all the fucking characters.
Well, I mean, it fits in.
It's
I
the
mean,
creepiness
it's
of
like
it.
a low budget Beetlejuice kind of thing going on. There's a lot of that. It looks a lot like Beetlejuice too.
It does have a vibe like that.
Yeah, like a lot of the neon kind of lighting and stuff like that. I know there's other movies like that. I just am not thinking of them right now. But yeah, this is a good movie.
A good movie, okay, yeah. Because I was gonna say I was gonna bet that I think Gabe will like this one. It's no Rotor.
You'd seen it before, right?
A long time ago.
Yeah, I saw this
quite
when
a few
I was
years.
5.
Quite a few years. I'd like to have it on VHS. I don't have this on VHS. I might have this on VHS. It might be in my pile.
That ever-growing pile?
Yes. The last VHS I got was, I was telling Jeff on the way up, Penitentiary 3.
Oh my god.
Which is fucking fantastic. It's the same director as Street Wars.
Oh, God.
And
wow.
He did all three of the Penitentiary movies. He did that Welcome Home, Brother Charles, the movie that we talked about right when we started the podcast, where the black guy gets experimented on in prison, and then he has like the penis that he can strangle people with.
Why haven't we done that?
Man, there's so many good movies out there.
Yeah.
And we're fucking around watching the Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
Haven't seen it yet. I'm going to go see it tomorrow.
All right, I won't spoil it for you.
Thank you.
Lurker Jeff, what did you think of this movie?
Loved it.
Loved it? Okay,
Yeah,
nice.
It was great.
What did you really love
Would
about
you recommend
it,
this to
Jeff?
a family member?
No, I love my family, so no.
His
If they
favorite
were
part
to
was
if
the
they were to
lube.
walk in on you while watching this, like what excuse would you make? Oh, I'm doing research for a project, and we're trying to track perverts down.
Would you be sitting in a barrel full of lube while you watch it?
All he has to do is mention Gabe's name, and then like his family would say, "Oh, you're still friends with Gabe."
We gotta get you some better friends.
Gabe in the barrel of lube with you.
I know this other guy, and he could really use a friend. I'll just make a play date for you.
Yes.
Two lonely guys.
Oh my god.
He has a sandbox in his backyard. It's great.
How about you, Paul?
Oh, I loved it.
This is great. Yeah.
The characters fantastic. The actors were so over the top.
It was great. Yeah. I really liked Diane Franklin when she was obviously a young lady.
And I thought the effects were very impressive. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
think this had a huge budget, but
It
man,
looked really
They
good.
did it really good with
the
practical
monster
special
and
effects.
the
Sets
sets.
were good. Everything
Yeah.
looked good.
Well, and so this was directed by Charles Band, right?
No, the director was what's his face?
Oh, Ted Nicolau.
Ted
Yeah,
Nicolau.
okay.
Yeah.
So Charles Band had his own production company. They did Robot Jocks and some other stuff.
Yeah, Empire. Yeah, like I said, they made Reanimator. Empire. Was it Empire Studios? Yeah.
Yeah,
Empire International. Yeah.
Yeah,
they're the
Trancers.
Oh, okay.
Puppet Master movies. The Dungeon
ones-
Master.
I want to see
remember
that.
the movie
That looked
that
interesting. That looked interesting. Is that good?
Trancers.
we watched? Trancers or the Dungeon Master?
Or Dungeon Masters? I haven't seen. Yeah, I saw
Dungeon
that. That's another
Master
one Ted
we
did.
watched on Halloween, not last year but the year before. It was the one with Richard Mole from Night Court.
Oh yeah. Didn't
I remember
that
that
good?
one.
Yeah.
Is it good?
No.
didn't we
No.
do
We didn't.
Okay.
We didn't do it for the
No,
show.
we just watched it.
We watched it that night, but we watched it the same night as Things,
Oh.
the Canadian horror movie that was made for
That
$25,000.
everything.
Dude, that movie so fucking rules. It's so great.
Things. Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm gonna check it out.
It's ridiculous.
That's the movie. Yeah, all the audio is added in post, and so none of the voices match up.
It looks like they couldn't
It's-
afford
it's-
some of the actors
it's
for half
like-
the movie. It's,
You could not make a more surreal movie if you tried.
Wow.
It's so bizarre.
Things, right?
Things.
Okay.
I have it on DVD. I'll bring it. I'll
All right.
rip it.
Think low budget and then subtract from that.
Yes. Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
a home movie made on a budget.
Yeah, it's Canadian. There's these little ant kind of things that look like those little ants with the faces from that episode of Outer Limits.
Right.
Oh man.
What are they called? Oh man, I can't remember now. But it's the Midwich Cuckoos, maybe? No, that's the Village of the Damned.
It's like it's on the tip of my tongue. It's
Yeah,
something
yeah.
spaceman or something.
Yeah. Anyway, and there's some experimentation that goes on. It's super gory, and the gore looks good because they probably used like real like internal
Blood.
organs.
Yeah, real orphan
killed
organs.
real-
Most
people in this
importantly, it is super Canadian.
It is super duper Canadian.
Hey, did you get those Molsons I asked you to pick up?
It's like one of those things.
We're going to the hockey game later. Moose.
It's kind of like what's the John Stamos movie that we did?
Oh, it's Never Too Young to Die.
Never Too Young to Die. It's like almost that level of like, oh my god, this is a thing. Really,
Yeah.
really. Except for instead of like a $2 million movie, it's like a $25,000 movie shot by a bunch of friends over weekends for several years.
And
I'd
they
be
spent
surprised
at least
if they spent that
15,000 of
much.
that just on like the craft services table.
Well, no, and so
There was no
it
movie.
has a porn star in it that they paid her. She was doing a stripping tour through Canada, and they paid her. And I've heard an interview with the guy, and he was like, "We paid her $5,000 to have a cameo in the movie, and that's like at least a quarter of the budget."
Yeah, and all she does, she's like a newscaster.
Yeah, and it's
Wow.
hilarious because you can see her like reading the cue card. She's like, "There was an attack." And, yeah, okay. It's hilarious. It's I have the DVD. It's great. The VHS is much sought
I think it's in our future.
It's like the holy grail.
I could
It's
watch
so
that movie
great.
again.
It's so great though. Like even my son Jeremy hates fucking watching movies. Ironically, he's like, "Why would you watch shitty movies when you can watch good movies?" Right? And so, but he was like, "That was mesmerizing."
He's totally like seeing a traffic accident on the side of the road. Yeah.
They're eating the body parts of the people they're pulling from the flaming vehicle.
You know, and I think a lot of the movies that we do really suffer from like long stretches of just boring bullshit.
Yeah, like Rotor
And-
or
and
what's
this-
it, Evil Clutch.
Yeah, this transcends that somehow because you literally cannot believe what you're looking at on the screen.
Well, it's
Yeah,
a
it's
movie
pretty-
that invites discussion the whole time. Of, what the fuck are we watching?
were
I
they-
don't know. What do you think we're watching? I don't know.
A
What the fuck are
lot
you
of social commentary going on.
I mean,
during
it's
the viewing
all
of this.
shot.
Nothing less. We'll watch it.
Yeah,
though.
okay.
It's if nothing less, it's all shot in I think like one house, and then there's a couple of outdoor scenes, and to call it a house is like a shack that some guy does ice fishing out of.
And there's some random like doctor guy off to the side of the movie who has no point in it apparently. Doing
Something to do with
experiments or
he
something.
impregnated somebody's wife, and she gave birth to the things.
Yes, it's, like,
Oh my
weird
god,
as
it's
fuck.
fantastic. I'm friends with Barry Gillis on Facebook. He's the producer director. He's the guy on the front with the drill, with the super long drill bit. He has a very good sense of humor about the whole thing, but also kind of takes pride. So I appreciate that because it is something to be proud of. It's just amazing.
So I take it you liked it too, Craig? Terrorvision?
Yeah, Terrorvision actually was entertaining.
Wait, we're doing Terrorvision?
This whole thing derailed, but no, I didn't hate Terrorvision, and that's about the best praise I can give anything.
I know,
from
it's
Schlock
just,
Talk.
I mean, Craig
I don't hate
hates
it.
being here. He hates
I
seeing
do.
our fucking faces all the time, and that's actually high praise for this film.
Well, that's kind of what makes the podcast work, I think.
He's the straight man.
If we ever picked a movie he enjoyed, I think the whole thing would derail.
The only
like-
problem is Craig ever gets a girlfriend or a job or a real life. We're never going to see him
that's-
again.
That's never gonna happen.
I have a job.
I said a real job.
You talking about Jeremy Gabe reminded me of something. I do have another endorsement for Terrorvision.
Yeah.
Barb, who has never lasted maybe more than 2 minutes anytime I've watched any type of schlock at all.
Yes.
Sat through the entire movie and watched it.
Oh
Wow.
man.
Yeah, I
That's
watched
something.
this with my girlfriend too, and she loved it.
I met Barb, and that's saying a lot.
Yeah, that situation's complicated now.
Well, to be fair, your girlfriend also sat through last Nazi orgy one.
She did.
Gestapo's
She
last
watched.
orgy.
She also watched Ilsa.
and she
Too.
laughed.
And
Yeah.
you're still together.
You're still together.
I was like
She-
Stockholm syndrome.
See, all I do is I starve her to the brink of death, and the only way to survive
Wow,
is
this
once
was
she
me.
finishes watching the movie in its entirety. I push food through the mail slot or whatever the fuck you're supposed to have.
He gives
when
her
you-
the hummingbird feeder to let her suck
When
it out for a little while.
when he drops down the lotion basket.
Put the fucking lotion on your skin.
Okay, so speaking of wives, apropos of nothing else, I told Jeff this story. So my wife is up at her parents' house helping mend the fences for their horses for a couple of days.
Is that code for sex?
No, she's actually fixing the fences. So my wife is up like doing manly shit while I'm like watching shitty movies and beating off. That's what I've been doing the last 2 days. So she called
now
me.
we know why your hands were under the table
Yes.
the whole
So
time.
basically, that's a taster retirement for you, huh?
It is.
This way your face looks like Grandpa's?
It is.
Oh,
It is.
it's terrible.
So she called me last night to make sure that
care
I
of
had fed
business.
the cats. I fucking hate our cats, and my wife has been on the warpath to tell me to befriend the cats because she thinks they'll stop pissing all over everything if I do this. And so she called me last night. And she's like, "Well, did you feed the cats?" And I was like, "No, I'll feed the cats." And she goes, "They can tell if you're irritated when you're feeding them, so be nice when you do it."
You have
And
to
I-
feed them with love, Gabe.
And I said, "Can they tell I'm irritated now?"
How do you make yourself feed them with happiness?
So she's like,
You gotta get
Gabe, we
drunk
really
before
need
you
to
feed your
need
cats."
to overhaul our international policy with these cats.
She really does. She's been buying these cat treats, and every night wants me to sit down and feed
Trying
them
to
individual.
rebuild
I want to fucking murder these fucking cats.
I'm trying to rebuild their trust in the system.
Our Mars
Gabe,
our
we
most-
need you to edge while you're feeding the cats so you can be happy while you're...
Our interspecies relations are very tense right now.
We have 3 cats. We have Cookie, who pees down our heat grates.
Oh, fucking!
wonderful.
Why is it not
That's
dead?
gonna smell good.
We have John Wayne, who constantly rapes Cookie.
This is the cat he's going to be friends
that was
with.
that was a comma. That's not. There's more than 2.
And then we
last
have
name Gacy?
our third one is Oreo, and he's mentally retarded and a fag. And he likes. I actually
He's a
have-
British cigarette?
There's no room in this world for his kind.
In our living room, we have a stationary bike that doesn't get used, and I have to stack my
come on, you hang
sweatshirts-
clothes on it.
Well,
I
it's
have to
good
stack
it's
my
stationary.
sweatshirts on top of that so that the cat can't get onto them and piss on them, because if you leave any clothing sitting around, he'll pee all over it.
We used to have a cat. We had a
So
gas
I
stove.
get slightly irritated about our cats.
We had a gas stove when we first moved into our house, and it used to pee into
back when you had
the
heater.
burner.
This is back when you had
And like
the
it
heater.
wouldn't know because like it would
light it
would,
up.
It would be during the summer, and then
Yeah, and
you
it would
crank
dry
it back up.
but you don't see it because it would kind of disappear under the grate. And then you turn it on, and it is fucking the foulest. Burning pee is the worst smell imaginable.
Paul would come in from a hard day of repairing the wheels on his carriage.
I raised a barn today. I met with Moses. I put out a burning bush, and
This cow still has a broken foot.
no, but I can commiserate.
But to be fair, all of my pet stories pale in any comparison to any that you would ever have, Paul.
Well, it's because you're way outnumbered.
Yes, you are.
That's an order.
We have a total of 4 in our house, and you guys have a total of 14.
I was
So,
doing work
Paul,
on
can
Paul's house one time, and one of his Persian cats just took a nice fat diarrhea shit right next to me.
It's love. It's the way.
I'm just saying, your household's problems are
she's
spreading to
comfortable
other
with you.
people.
It could probably tell you were irritated.
He's more interested in doing his work than paying attention to me. Well, fuck him.
The
He's
funny
such a
thing-
guy.
The funny thing about this, my wife is so fucking condescending to me about this. Like, it's so fucking obvious. They're acting like this because you don't treat them well.
You're gonna end up on Dr. Phil. You and the cats. In the middle of the episode, he's gonna be like, "Well, we have the cats here, Gabe. Bring out the cats." John Wayne, stop raping the cameraman. Please tell us your feelings.
I'm pretty sure
I'm
that
irritated.
Gabe's wife is now technically a lesbian because she loves the pussy more than him.
And she's out
would
working
die
on
for
a
that
fence
shit.
for the horses. So you might very well be right about that.
I think she likes animals.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's a matter of time, too, before I live in the country and have fucking horses and have to go do that shit.
Wait, that's her plan for you guys?
Yeah, we got a house for, like, real cheap, and we're going to flip it and we're going to make probably $100,000 on our house. And then I'm fucked. I'm going to be out in the fucking country.
Do you have a saddle?
Dude, I
That she's
just
gonna
see
put on you?
Suzanne.
She's gonna put on him.
My wife has always talked about raising llamas.
You're
Well, I
gonna
thought it was
fucking
a
keep
joke
llamas
when I
in your
was talking
house
about
now?
llamas.
No, but I mean, if we ever move, if we ever get like an acre
Oh my
or
God.
something, oh, it's over.
You better fake your own death, bro.
You
You just lay low here for a year, and then call off the search, and you're scot free of that.
I think Neverland Ranch.
She can fucking have her animal farm all to herself.
I think the story that we might need to take from all this is we all should probably become Greek.
I'll bait you with feta.
So the next couple of movies we're going to do are Death Wish 3,
Yeah.
which I dropped off here, and then Adam Chaplin, the Swedish, I think it's Swedish or German.
I think it's Swedish.
Okay. Like hyper gore, like death metal
Yeah,
movie.
it's hard to describe.
Yeah.
Adam Chaplin. All right.
But does anyone have any do's or don'ts?
I do have a do. I just recently saw the film Krampus.
Oh, I heard that was great.
It's fucking great. It's bringing the camp back to fucking horror. It's just like Terrorvision. It's just a different family in a different setting, but you fucking hate everything.
It's got Keckner in it too, right?
Yes.
It's good, and I think what's his face from Community is in there too. Adam Scott.
Yeah,
is in there.
Low budge
Great
Paul
job.
Rudd. Yes.
Yeah, low budge Paul Rudd. There we go. It's a great movie. I highly recommend it. It's worth seeing in theaters. And then I also saw the new Star Wars. I don't get into the content, but I kind of thought it was meh. Honestly,
All right, I'm going to see it tomorrow, so I'll tell you.
Okay, I'm not going to say any spoilers about Star Wars, but it tries so hard to be like the first film that it practically is the first film.
Well, you understand that J.J. Abrams is like the reboot go-to guy. They're just like, hey, we want to reboot this franchise. Here you go, J.J. Star Trek. They did it with a couple of other ones too. They fucking throw it his way.
I recently, with my kids, I watched, what is it? The J.J. Abrams film Super 8.
Which I didn't want to see because I don't like the whole movie to see the monster.
It's like a Spielberg.
Yeah, it's a Spielberg hand job, just like Crystal Skull was a George Lucas hand job from Spielberg.
It's not a terrible movie, but the whole time I'm watching it, I'm like thinking, oh my god, people always joke about his lens flare.
Yeah, he's fucking
There's a fucking
horrible with
lens
that.
flare every 30 seconds in that movie, and
Yeah.
I thought, you could turn this into a drinking game? No, you couldn't. You'd die of alcohol
Fucking
poisoning.
die, yeah. He did it with the first Star Trek film. He fucking like loves those like little anomalies in the camera, and he's just like, it makes it authentic.
So I saw The Hateful Eight.
Oh yeah.
Did you see it in 70 millimeter?
I don't know that.
What,
No, it
70
was
millimeter?
less.
Did the film break in the middle?
No, there was okay. So
Then you
I
saw
did
digital.
I saw digital because it didn't have the what is that?
The score at the
intermission.
beginning?
No, the intermission. It
Oh,
didn't
it's
have
a
the
long ass-
intermission
Because they have
and
to
it was
flip reels.
It was about 10 minutes short of 3 hours, and I think the 3 hour version, the 70 millimeter version, was like 3 hours and 7 minutes. But it was great,
All right,
super
Yeah, I
gory.
definitely want to see that.
I want to check it out. Yeah.
A lot of people hate it, which is kind of weird.
Which is up our alley.
They,
Which is up Gabe's alley.
they
I
say,
think it's become kind of cool to hate on Tarantino lately.
yeah.
So that
It's
might
a
be
hip
part of
thing
the
to do,
problem.
yeah.
Well, people just, I guess, from what I've seen, the most negative is just they feel like he's fetishizing violence too much or something to that effect. But that's all he's about.
That's
He's
what
not-
doing since he
Tarantino.
started.
Exactly. I mean, he's not going in there
That
like
made him
shocked
fucking
by
rich. That made him fucking rich. Just tell Bill Gates, quit fucking making operating systems, okay?
Dialogue and murder is pretty much what he does.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, and so like I wasn't super crazy about the Inglourious Bastards. I thought Django was pretty good.
Yeah.
This was better than both of them.
Did he do Jackie
Really?
Brown?
Yeah,
he
Jackie
did.
Brown.
I really
Jackie
like
I
Brown's
haven't
my
seen
favorite.
Jackie Brown yet.
Jackie Brown is
unfortunately,
my
yeah.
favorite. That's
really,
probably,
I'm
that's probably my
still-
least favorite one of his movies. I've seen.
Really? I'm with Gabe. I think that's my favorite.
I think
Yeah,
that
I gotta
his
see that one.
I think his movies tend to
Reservoir
not
Dogs
hold
for
up
me.
on the multiple viewings just because the dialogue is kind of what you're there for, and it's and kind of the twists and turns. And once you know those, they don't. But Jackie Brown, I think, holds up better.
Well, I don't think
than a
it's
lot of
well. It's not fair. Not my least favorite. My least favorite movie was the Terror with
Death Proof
Du-
sucks.
yeah, that was
Death
really
Proof
good.
sucks.
I still enjoyed Death Proof.
Yeah.
You enjoy anything?
No, that's not true. I don't enjoy your company.
Oh man, that was rough.
Yeah.
I feel
gonna
bad.
now.
I feel bad.
It was like going in dry.
So,
But he
thumbs up
likes
for
it like
Hateful Eight.
that.
But I think we're gonna go see The Revenant tonight, and then Star
I'm
Wars.
seeing that tonight,
Star
too,
Wars
with my
tomorrow.
friend.
Oh, speaking of Craig hugging me, bear rape.
Yes.
Yes.
The infamous
The fucking Revenant looks like a straight up testosterone injection right into your eyeballs.
Yes, I'm looking forward.
I don't
Yeah.
want to spoil anything for you, but what I heard is the bear scene is like nearly 15 minutes long
Oh
and the
my
most
God.
excruciating fucking thing you'll ever see.
But he doesn't actually get raped.
Oh no, the bear's smoking a cigarette at the end of that. I'm pretty sure it was consensual, actually. So
Okay.
it's okay.
That's what he was out in the woods for in the first place.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing both of those, and then the next movie I think after that would be The Witch. I want to see The Witch.
oh, that looks so good.
Yeah. So we'll get back to you. Oh, and then The Danish Girl. I'm going to go see that.
Oh,
Danish girl?
About the trans lady from 1919. Yeah.
Wow.
It just looks lovely.
Okay.
Starring the guy from.
Is this? Are you bringing the cats?
Yeah, we're gonna pet the cats and be nice to them, and then they'll stop fucking pissing all over my fucking bed.
It's been rusting your vaginal mesh lately.
Yes, it has. So yeah, those are the upcoming movies I'm looking.
I
forward
watched
to see.
Sicario last night, and
Yeah.
I was really drunk. It made me high.
But
It's okay. It's legal now.
Is that the Sicarios?
it was good, but I don't know. It tried so hard to be like a Michael Mann movie, and the soundtrack. It was the best horror movie soundtrack I've never seen in a horror movie. No, literally, the soundtrack had no reason being in that film at all. It was really strange.
Interesting. Well, I'll watch it. Anybody else? Craig? Yeah, we know you don't like anything, so it's okay. You don't have to say anything.
Fuck everything. I hate it
You
all.
liked Star Wars, though, didn't you?
Actually, Star Wars, I liked it. Yeah, I thought it was. There's definitely some mixed feelings on some of the stuff they had going on there.
You guys
like,
know-
I like the heroes. I thought the villains were really completely lame.
Yeah, I
Is pretty
just
much
don't
my
know what
thought
the
on
fuck
that one.
Harry Potter shit they were doing with the villains on that.
Like the general guy. I mean,
Lord Voldemort.
He's
and
like
shit,
a
yeah.
17-year-old general. I mean, what the fuck is up with that? I don't.
Yeah, I think
get
one
it.
of the generals is like one of the Weasley brothers from the Harry Potter films.
Oh,
Looks
God.
like it.
It's
I
the
don't know.
kid from Ex Machina.
Oh, that guy.
The
okay.
redheaded guy
that's
from
who
Ex
that
Machina.
is.
And I don't like that guy.
And then there's
Just gonna
Captain
say that.
Phasma, who's in there for like 15 seconds, and basically does nothing.
She's the Boba Fett of...
Yeah,
this
it's just
movie.
like whatever. Yeah, hero's good.
Oh, the
villain's
girl
bad.
from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Does she ever take her mask off?
No.
So you don't even know.
No, it's just
But they make a
voice.
big fucking deal about that she's a female.
Daniel Craig's in a scene. You don't even see him in there. He's one of the stormtroopers.
That's retarded.
Really?
No, there's a
Yeah,
bunch of cameos that people just wanted to be in the movie, so they're like,
Okay,
hey, can
you're
I flip?
Stormtrooper. That's fucking nice.
So
No, that'd be pretty cool
Hateful
to
Eight
see
has
there.
something like that too. I won't give it away, but there is a. It's not really a cameo because it's an important part of the movie, but it's not something. It's you might notice during the credits, but then you forget all about it, and then you're like, when that person shows up, you're like, oh shit, they're in this.
Okay.
So it's kind of cool. Is that it?
That's it.
All right, that was a good one, guys.
Yeah.